Picture this. I walk out to my barn, ready to fire up my harvester and save a farmer's crop before a Texas storm rolls in, only to find a shiny silver BMW parked smack across my driveway, blocking me like it owns the place. There's a note on the windshield, all official looking with an HOA seal, screaming, "Restricted access. Under investigation." And standing next to it, grinning like she just won a cage match, is Karen Walsh, the self-crowned dictator of our little suburban slice of Oak Ridge Meadows, acting like she's got me cornered. I'm Ethan Hayes, a guy who fixes machines and helps farmers keep their fields alive. And this is the story of how Karen thought she could choke out my livelihood with her fancy car and a clipboard, until I rolled out my 15-ton combine and taught her a lesson in Texas grit. If you've ever had a neighbor or an HOA try to run your life, stick around and drop a comment with your wildest story. I want to hear it, and let me know where you're watching from. It all kicked off on a crisp fall morning in Oak Ridge Meadows, a Houston suburb where the lawns are perfect and the HOA rules are tighter than a bull rider's grip. I've got a barn out back, nothing fancy, just a spot for my agricultural gear. Mostly my International Harvester combine, a beast I've been tinkering with since I was a kid. That barn's my lifeblood, where I store the tools that keep farmers like my buddy Sam Thornton's crops from rotting in the field. I've had all my permits since 18, before the HOA even existed, locked in tight under Texas law. So when Karen Walsh, our HOA president, came clicking across my gravel in her high heels and lime green blazer, I figured she was just sniffing around for something to complain about. "Ethan Hayes?" she says, like she's reading my name off a wanted poster. "I'm Karen Walsh, Oak Ridge Meadows HOA. We've had reports, noise, grease, industrial activity. This barn's a blight on our community." Her voice drips with that fake sweet venom, and she's clutching a clipboard like it's the Constitution. I wipe my hands on a rag, trying to stay cool. "Ma'am, I've got permits, county approved, all legal. This barn was here before your HOA. I'm just doing my job, helping farmers." She flicks her eyes over my papers like they're junk mail, then smirks. "Legal doesn't mean acceptable, Mr. Hayes. That diesel stink and racket are tanking property values. You need to move this operation somewhere else." I hold up my permits, feeling my jaw tighten. "These say I can stay right here." For a split second, her face twitches. Maybe she didn't expect pushback. But then she's back to her Ice Queen grin, scribbling on her clipboard like she's building a case for the FBI. "We'll see about that," she says, strutting back to her BMW, her heels snapping out a warning. My wife, Laura, steps out onto the porch, arms crossed against the chill. "Who was that?" she asks, worry creasing her face. Laura's the calm to my storm, always looking for a way to smooth things over. "Just the HOA queen, thinking she can shut down my barn," I say, pulling her close. "Don't worry, I've got the law on my side." Famous last words, right? The next morning, I head out to start my day, and there it is, Karen's silver BMW, parked diagonal across my driveway, locking my barn tighter than a bank vault. That under investigation notice is taped to the windshield, and Karen's leaning against the car, waving her fingers at me like some villain in a bad movie. "What's this, Karen?" I call out, my coffee mug shaking in my hand. "You can't just block my property." She doesn't even blink. "Oh, Ethan, this is an official HOA action. Your barn's a hazard, and until you comply, this stays put." I'm fuming, but she's got that look, like she's daring me to try something. For 3 days, that car doesn't budge. I try everything, calls that go to voicemail, knocks on her door she ignores, notes under her wipers begging her to move so I can get to my gear. Nothing. Sam calls, voice tight, saying a storm's coming, maybe hurricane level, and if I don't get his corn out by tomorrow, he's done. 3 generations of his family farm gone. I'm pacing, feeling like a caged animal, when my neighbor, Ray Coleman, drops by. Ray's a retired lawyer, the kind who reads case law for fun, and he's got a folder thicker than a brisket. "Ethan, Karen's done this before," he says, sipping Laura's coffee. "She bullied the Garcias into yanking their kid's treehouse, called it a structural risk. Before that, she fined the Lees for their herb garden, said it was commercial farming. She picks fights she can win by scaring people. I lean in, heart pounding. So I'm not special? Ray shakes his head. Nope, but you've got something they didn't. Ironclad permits and Texas property law. Your barn's grandfathered, Ethan. She's got no leg to stand on, but she's betting you'll cave. He tells me Karen's not just a control freak. She thinks she's saving Oak Ridge from chaos. Like my barn's the first step to some post-apocalyptic wasteland. That afternoon, I march to her house, banging on her door until she opens it, looking annoyed in yoga pants and a messy bun. Karen, I've got farmers losing everything if I can't get to my gear. I say, keeping my voice even. Let's work this out. Quieter hours, whatever you want. She leans against the doorframe, smirking. Not my problem, Ethan. You brought industry to a residential zone. Move it or this gets worse. She shuts the door, but not before saying, check your mailbox. There's something you'll want to see. My stomach drops. Back home, Laura's holding a certified letter from Harris County Court, her hands trembling. It's a legal bomb. Karen's filed for an injunction to shut down my barn, claiming it's an illegal industrial hazard. Hearings in 3 days, Monday morning. I look at Laura, her eyes wide with fear, and our son, Tommy, peeks around the corner, asking, Dad, why can't you use your machines? I pull him close, trying to explain. Some lady thinks they're too loud, buddy, but I'm gonna fix it. Inside, I'm not so sure. Sunday, I'm buried in law books Ray lent me, fueled by coffee and Laura's sandwiches. Karen's complaint is slick, photos of oil stains, noise logs, neighbor statements painting me as some polluting menace. But Ray's right. Texas law protects my rights. My permits predate the HOA. I'm grandfathered. Monday, I'm in my old funeral suit, walking into the courthouse, nerves on fire. Karen's there in a navy suit, whispering to her lawyer, giving me that smug finger wave. The courtroom's cold, fluorescent, and Judge Harlan's got eyes like a hawk. Karen's lawyer lays it on thick. Pictures of my barn looking like a dump, talk of toxic emissions, and endangered kids. I'm sweating, but when it's my turn, I stand tall. Your Honor, I'm no lawyer, but I follow the rules. I say, handing over my permits. These prove my barn's legal, approved before the HOA existed. Karen's not worried about safety. She's targeting me because I won't bow to her. I tell the judge about her other victims, the Garcias, the Lees, watching Karen squirm. Harlan cuts in, voice like gravel. Ms. Walsh, you blocked his driveway with your car? That's your idea of an inspection? The room laughs, and Karen's face goes beet red. A BMW's not HOA gear, ma'am, he says, shutting her down. He reads my permits, then bangs his gavel. Injunction denied. Mr. Hayes' operation is legal. Ms. Walsh, clear his driveway, or you're facing charges. I should have felt like a champ driving home, but something's off. I pull onto my street, and it's a circus. Karen's BMW's still there, now joined by 5 other cars. A dozen neighbors with signs like, Stop Toxic Machines and Save Our Kids. Karen's in a yellow safety vest, waving HOA bylaws like a preacher with a Bible, screaming about an environmental emergency. She's turned my win into a PR stunt, calling Channel 9 News to paint me as a villain. I march over, court order in hand. Karen, the judge said move now. She laughs, loud and fake. This is a community protest, Ethan. We're not leaving till you shut down that poison factory. Neighbors I've known for years won't meet my eyes, buying her lies about pollution. Sam's crop's got hours left, and I'm out of moves. I call Ray, voice shaking. She's got a mob, Ray. What do I do? He's calm, methodical. Ethan, Texas law lets you secure emergency access to AG equipment during a storm warning. Check your old barn. Any gear you can use. That's when it hits me, the 81 harvester combine in my back shed. A hobby project I got running last summer. 15 tons of pure American steel. Slow but unstoppable. I spend an hour checking it. Fluids, gears, safety systems, knowing this isn't just about access anymore. It's about showing Karen she picked the wrong fight. The combine roars to life, shaking the ground like a Texas thunderstorm. I roll it out at 3 miles an hour, the rumble scattering Karen's protesters like roaches. They grab their signs, folding chairs, even a pink cooler, tripping over each other to get clear. Karen stands firm, planted in front of her BMW, yelling, "You can't scare us with that monster." But her voice cracks, and her eyes widen as 15 tons creep closer. I stop 20 feet from her, climb down, and walk over, calm as a Sunday morning. "Karen, I need my barn to save a farmer's crop. Move or I call the cops." Right then, Officer Torres pulls up, lights flashing. I hand him the court order, my permits, Sam's contract. "Officer, I've got a storm deadline, and she's breaking the law." Torres reads, then turns to Karen. "Ma'am, you got any legal reason to block this man's property?" Karen rants about community safety, but Torres cuts her off. "Yes or no, ma'am?" Silence. Her face falls and she knows she's done. "Move your car or you're under arrest," he says. Karen glares at me, muttering, "This isn't over, Hayes." But her hands shake as she peels out, her BMW squealing down the street. The crowd vanishes, and I'm in my barn by sundown, prepping for Sam's harvest. Next morning, my phone's blowing up. A reporter, Maria Lopez from Channel 9, calls, digging into Karen's past. "Ethan, she's got 15 complaints. Harassment, skimming HOA funds, bullying neighbors. Your harvester stunt lit a fire." That night, her story airs, and Oak Ridge explodes. Neighbors call, apologizing, offering help. Ray drops the bomb. The HOA board kicked Karen out, voted him interim chair, and they're rewriting the bylaws to protect my barn. An audit finds Karen blew thousands on consultants for her vendettas, and a month later, her house is for sale, her BMW hauled off like a trophy. 3 months later, Oak Ridge feels alive again. The Garcias treehouse is back. The Lees replanted their garden, and my barn's never been busier. Tommy's telling his buddies about Dad's harvester war, turning me into a playground legend. I put up a sign outside the barn, "Private property. No BMWs allowed." Laura laughs every time she sees it. Karen's probably in Dallas now, spinning her sob story, but I don't care. I'm back to what I love. Fixing machines, saving crops, living the life I built. But here's the thing. Was I right to roll out that combine, or did I go too far? Could I have found another way, or was Karen begging for a Texas-sized reality check? Drop a comment. Tell me what you do, or share your own HOA horror story. Hit that like button if you're Team Harvester, and share this with someone who needs a laugh or a lesson. Let's keep these stories rolling, y'all.